Alright, that was cool. Welcome everyone, friends of Furry as well as species. I'm Dayzee, Hyena, and I keep wanting to say we're back, but this is first episode of Angels with Scaly Wings. Now, I haven't heard too much about this game. Only thing I've ever heard was that it's a furry Danganronpa. That's what somebody had told me when they sent me the link. So, me being obsessed with Danganronpa like the weirdo I am, and being a furry, that means that this is right up my alley. So, we're gonna get this started. System, detecting user profile. Oh, shit. Putting in our name, Dayzee. Alright, because I'm not original, we're just gonna go with Dayzee. Oh, shit. Did I fuck it up? Oh, yep. Oh, cool, we get color. My favorite color is blue. Let's see. They said other colors, so let's see. Ooh, cyan. Cyan looks like, my blue, so. Yes. Ha ha. Sexy. Alright. Alright, let's get this rolling. Oh, shit. The year is 20XX. Only recently has humanity discovered a portal that leads to a different world, populated with a race of intelligent talking dragons. Bro! Okay, I was one of the few to travel to this world. But maybe I should start at the beginning. It all began when we discovered a strange device in the middle of nowhere during one of our expeditions. A portal. Sexy. I had heard about similar technology before, though that had been more on an experimental level. From what I knew, the other portals had been created in the past and were under consideration for mass application. As for this one in particular, though, we did not know who had built it nor when, or why we found it in the wilderness where we did. What was more exciting to us was the fact that it was functional. I'm trying to keep up with it, but it's going fast. Oh well. After our first test, we found there was someone else on the other side who was in possession of a similar portal, and our attempts at communication through letters were successful. But in the end, the machine's extraordinary demand for power meant we needed to act quickly, as we wouldn't be able to keep the portal open much longer. When we made this known to the other side, we received a very unexpected reply, a letter of invitation. After some deliberation, we decided to accept their hospitality and send a person to the other side. There was an individual who took the job almost immediately. It has to be a furry. There is no way that normal people would be like, talking dragons? No. Furries would be like, let's screw. Let's go. Oh, is that me? I'm handsome. Oh, nope, that's someone else. Riza. Jesus Christ, I'm sorry. Is Queerdo? Riza is Queerdo? I don't know, I'm sorry. I'm probably butchering these names, I'm sorry. I knew him, or rather had known him. We attended the same school back then, and even had a few classes together. We never really were very close friends, but we talked to each other occasionally and hung around with the same crowd sometimes. However, we still went our separate ways in the end. I wasn't sure what to think about the whole thing, but he had to have known what he was doing. He was certainly brave. Either that or just very, very foolish. Obviously a furry. While I wasn't sure which, his courage was applauded by others. After all, he couldn't possibly have known who or what would await him on the other side of the portal. And if he did meet someone there, who knew what kinds of intentions they might have. Not that any speculation on our part would have made a difference. When the day finally came, though he went with applause echoing across the arena, equipped with only the clothes he wore, a multi-tool, a gun, and a device on his wrist that acted as a PDA. Then we waited. The crowd that was applauding him slowly dispersed when the enthusiasm died down, as there was nothing for us to do but wait and speculate. Approximately 8 hours later, we received our first message from him. Man, wouldn't I message them on the first, as soon as I appear in whatever thing I would be like, the first thing they'd get back is a selfie and just be like, and it says LMAO, guess what? So, we had assumed the portal led to another in a different country or maybe a different continent, but the reality turned out to be much more foreign. The situation he described to us was so outlandish that we initially took it as a joke. A very bad joke, maybe, with even worse timing and no punchline at all. So my jokes. It soon became clear to us, though, that we may have made one of the most important discoveries since the dawn of mankind. Finding the portal had been remarkable in and of itself, but this took it to a completely different level. From what he described about the place, or more accurately its inhabitants, we surmised that it could not be part of Earth at all. We called them dragons, because according to Riza, that's what they were, or at least what they resembled most. Even though we found it hard to believe, it had been these dragons who had sent us all the letters. And what Riza found on the other side of the portal was a whole civilization of them. They could talk, write books, had buildings and electricity. In many ways, their society was actually very similar to our own. So who were they? And where was this place? Could they be aliens? Our speculations led us to conclude otherwise. After all, we knew about the existence of thousands of planets millions of light years away that may have been theoretically habitable. Yet, even then, we had never found conclusive proof in regards to actual alien life forms. Some people brought up quantum mechanics and parallel universes, but in the end, all this was just conjecture and ultimately fruitless endeavor, since we neither had the means nor resources to explore these possibilities in greater detail. I think there's just one more thing worth mentioning before I move on. The previous isolation had been mutual. They hadn't known about any other intelligent life form beyond their own. Their portal had only recently been discovered and was a lamps previously unknown to them. But, and just as we had myths about dragons, they had myths about us. That was what we knew about them so far, and as interesting as learning those things and debating their culture's significance was, we didn't really know what we should make of it all. Riza apparently was sure of what he was doing, though, as he eventually let us know that they had agreed on a trade. We were to give them a few of our PDA devices, which contained vast amounts of knowledge, dwarfing even that of encyclopedias. In return, they would supply us with generators. Overall, they didn't seem as technologically advanced as we had been, but they did surpass us in one aspect. Their means of gathering energy seemed sustainable. Not only that, but evidently also quite efficient. We certainly would be able to put technology like that to good use, and trading mere past knowledge of human race for something more tangible was a good call on his part. I could see that. Lord knows we need more sustainable energy. That's where I came in. My prior experience in both biology and sociology made me a good fit to deliver our PDA devices for the trade. And while in the Dragon's world waiting for the prototypes of our generators to be manufactured by them, I would act as an ambassador on humanity's behalf. How many people can I bang, though? That's the question. Is that allowed, or... What a way to make a first impression. By a display of mutual goodwill, everyone benefits and everyone goes home happy. All is well. At least that was the plan. Despite the images that living, talking dragons might conjure up in some people's minds, I didn't even think of bringing a weapon myself, considering that they were reportedly friendly and peaceful enough. There's no need for me to fear potential ill intentions like Riza did when he had stepped into the unknown territory. Acting as humanity's ambassador, I had to do my best to uphold high standards in fostering this diplomatic relationship. I could not do this job because I just bust down the door. Hey, where the bitch is at? When the time came for me to step through the portal, all my mental preparedness vanished. My anxiousness was fueled by the questions lurking in my head just as the machine started to do its work. Bitch, ain't that the truth? Would it hurt? Who would I meet on the other side? What if they really weren't so friendly and just made Riza write those letters with the pretense of appearing friendly, only to lure us into the den of man-eating monsters and certain doom, with us ending up as nothing more than a tasty afternoon snack? Maybe I should have brought a weapon after all. Suddenly I felt shiver coursing through my whole body and beyond when I... lamps. As if every cell, every atom of my body was torn from me and pulled in different directions. Painful! I'm liking the effects, though. I saw darkness and light painting patterns in the star as I traveled. And images rapidly flashed before me of things unseen and unspoken, both horrifying and beautiful. It was an experience unlike any other, yet over in a split second. Then it was dark. I could only see a patch of lighter color contrasting with its dark surroundings as my vision started to clear. Its edges got sharper as the patch of light slowly took shape, giving me the distinguished outline of a reptilian head and an array of horns sprouting from it. Let's see. Up. Hey, what's up? It was a dragon. And as I could see now, a dragon who not only had a pair of round glasses, but also wore a burgundy tie around its neck. Remy. Oh, I should probably... This dude looks fancy. I guess I'll go British. In the name of all people, I bid you welcome. If I may introduce myself, I am Remy, your guide and ambassador, a representative of our council. The dragon spoke. It was one thing to have heard and read about this, but something else entirely to have one standing in front of me, in the flesh and blood, and tongue. Giggity. It was good that all my mental preparedness had disappeared when I teleported because nothing could have prepared me for this. Sorry, I imagine you might still be feeling the effects of the teleportation. Drowsiness or weakness is not unusual, as is fainting and spontaneous emptying of your bowels, bladder, or stomach. How do you feel? So we just go shit ourselves. Okay, that's a good first impression. Hi, I'm Dayzee. Rendered speechlessly, totally forgotten that I was shouldering the burden of representing my people to them as well. So much for being professional, but at least he gave me a good excuse for my blunder. I think I'm alright. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Maybe we should go before it gets too dark. Please come with me. So I followed the dragon, not straying too far behind him, as the sun had already departed for the day and the remaining light diminished by the minute. It's getting hard to see where I'm going. Sorry about that, but we did have good reason to schedule your appointment like this. We did not want you to be ambushed by a crowd, so we had to keep your exact time and date of arrival secret. Thanks. I suppose an event like this would make me a celebrity of sorts. It would be the same if one of you came to us. That's quite an understatement. Some people here are rather superstitious. They might regard you and any of your kind as divine, I suppose. Oh, Atua. Really? How so? We do have certain myths that involve humans and such. I suppose a history lesson will have to wait for another time. Here we are. By this point, it had gotten so dark I could barely make out the building before us. I briefly wondered whether they might have streetlights elsewhere, or they did not require any due to possible enhanced eyesight or night vision. I could vaguely see the dragon, his light colors still visible within the blackness that engulfed the area, rear up and manipulate the door handle with one of his forepaws. Oh, so they're like on all fours. They're not bipedal, they're quadrupeds. Okay. Oh, hello. Hinges creaking, the door opened, and with the flick of a switch, the apartment was flooded with light, blinding me after all the time we had spent without it. This is where you would live for the time being. It is fully stocked, but in case you need anything else, I left you a note with a few phone numbers. It is getting rather late, so I will have to take my leave for now. In any case, someone will come and meet you tomorrow morning. Thank you, Remy. Have a good night. Until we meet again. Okay, he was nice. With a nod, Remy left the apartment, mindful enough to close the door behind himself. Surveying the room, I considered the events that had just transpired as my gaze met the window. I could see movement outside. As I draw near, startled, I could hear footsteps in the grass moving further away. Moving quickly away. Assuming it must have been the dragon I just met, I thought nothing of it as I went to bed and slowly succumbed to the sweet allure of sleep overdue. What? Dude! Okay, I'm assuming you're looking at that. Oh wait, is that the door? I can't tell where we came in, but if we walked in and the window across from us had somebody there, but they just left behind us, what would make you think that that was the same dragon? Oh well. Let's see. Make sure to lock the door. Spent a few moments thinking about my role, my mission, and what it meant to be here now. I feel a responsibility. Oh yeah! Oh, I forgot to say. You can make choices in this game, and they can, you know, change how the game progresses. So,
are you ready to make some bad choices?
Okay. Okay, so it's nighttime. I'm laying in bed thinking about things. Before the void of depression, I usually feel anxiety. I feel responsibility. Now here I was, a stranger in a strange land, as I only began to feel the weight of the burden that lay upon me, the pressure of my task and the expectations I would have to meet in representing a species, culture, and civilization. So many would depend on it, yet I did not know where the only human contact I had currently was. I was alone. Oh, fuck. Okay. Inception. Oh, I like that. Those are like tarot cards. I'm liking it. I heard that there was a very small team that worked on this, but this is actually really well done. I awoke from uneasy dreams looking at an unfamiliar ceiling. Just for a moment, I wondered where I was before the events of last night came back to me. I hate that feeling. Every time you wake up for a hotel at the first time, it's just like, oh god, where am I? Oh yeah. After a good stretch, I looked around the room, illuminated by the sunlight coming in from the window. Outside in the distance, the portal I had emerged from stood proudly on the peak of a small hill. Getting ready, I noticed something lying on the table. It was the note Remy had left for me in case I needed anything, along with his own home phone and work number. There were also some numbers for delivery of food and other necessities, as well as emergency and even janitorial service. He had certainly thought of everything, even though I now had to wonder what a dragon plumber might look like. I'd be interested. Okay, that looks like a good place to stop for today. So, we're ambassador in a dragon world. Anyway, if you like what you see, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe so you can see my content in the future. Also, while you're here, if you have any game suggestions or you want to say hi, leave it down in the comment section below. I'm Dayzee Hyena. I'll catch you all in the next vid.